Hey guys, it's the Mad Master here, and this is a video. Oh, I kind of look shitty in this. My hair is all messed up. But anyways, this is a video I've been wanting to do for a while, and just haven't had the time to do it yet. But excuse the delay. But I kind of had a inkling that Stefan Molyneux or whatever the fuck would do a video entitled this, but it's kind of a sensitive subject. But I figured I'd do this video. And he would probably title it this: "The Truth About Sandra Bland." Jerk off in his fucking cult stew that he has, going on. So I figured that would be a good title, but it's really about what the hell is going on in this country with the police, and I don't know. I've had some weird experiences with police, and wanted to talk a little bit about that too. So basically, the whole thing with her, as far as what happened, really bothered me a lot more in a certain way than some of the other police, high profile cases that have come out. What happened in Ferguson and just all these other ones. And it bothered me more in a way because you have this situation where it may be more realistic that this happens even more than the shootings, where people just get jailed for really dubious reasons and, seen as resisting arrest when they're not. And I was actually in jail a night about 5 years ago for a DUI, which I didn't do. And I was thrown in, and I was cleared eventually. My name was cleared because of blood tests and piss tests and so forth. But it just shows you that it's kind of become a thing where cops want to fill quotas and do their job as far as, whatever. I don't even know how that stuff works, but I'm sure there are quotas that aren't talked about, and they want to, at the end of the year, they want to, be seen as someone who had a lot of arrests, and, maybe this competition or something where they really want to not really serve the public, but serve themselves. And they have this attitude where, if they're making if they see, they see any kind of insolent, I don't know, if they see any kind of resistance, they're gonna, strike back even harder. So in the whole case of Sandra Bland, I thought that I watched the whole video, and I thought she was pretty reasonable. The thing is that I know she was involved in some activism and everything, so she's already focusing on what's going on with police. So having them stop her or having them behind her is probably going to make her more nervous and more apt to fuck up driving. Because I know from experience, since my arrest, I had to spend the night in a jail overnight, and I wasn't drunk and I was not high on anything. I'd gone to a concert up in Minnesota and drove back in Wisconsin. I was stopped over because I was speeding a little bit. I was really hungry, at low blood sugar, and I was really cold. So I failed the sobriety test because I was not wearing enough clothing, and needless to say, my coordination isn't the best. So I fucked up that test, and the guy's like, you must be on something. You must be fucked up on some way. Maybe you're some your brain is fucked. He didn't say fucked up, but you might have some neurological damage, and just fucking just totally stupid you know insignificant bullshit. So the time, when I had to spend the night, and it was a solitary confinement basically, and it was one of the drunk tank or whatever, where you're alone and there's hardly any comfort in this place, and they turn on, you already don't get any sleep because of this, thin, it was almost like a fitness mat that you sleep on basically in this jail cell, and then you hardly get any sleep, and they turn on the lights at 6 a.m. and you are just like doing nothing. It's like the worst study hall in high school times 1,000. So I can't imagine what Sandra Bland was going through with regards to, she didn't even know what the fuck she did, first of all. And, it's like she's alone in her thoughts, and already, the whole suicide angle, I'm not going to go into that. You know, if it was a suicide, then even so, the police really fucked that one up. So what bothered me is that there was I hardly know about any criminal record with her, and honestly, maybe it's a little racist to say like, oh, she was. I mean, some people have said, oh, she was like uppity, or maybe she was more middle class than a lot of these other high profile cases. So it's like something. There's a little dissonance in my brain where it's like, wow, that's really fucked up. If it was racially motivated or whatever. And I think maybe the guy that stopped her did have a little. There was something just not quite right with the whole situation. There's all these stereotypes and stuff in our heads that we don't realize all the time. So it made me really think about a lot of that different stuff, this whole case. And I just thought, and then she was, a college graduate and going into successful ventures and everything. And just the whole thing just made me think about a lot of these different things that we take for granted or we think about when we think about these cases. And it kind of bothered me even more because of that. So what I think is that watching the whole video, a lot of people have said, oh, she shouldn't have had that attitude towards the cop and all this shit. It's like, well, and she did pull a traffic. I see people cutting lanes all the time without a turn signal. I mean, I drive to work all the time, and there's someone that doesn't do it. It's like, you're gonna pull someone over for that? Well, it depends if they cause an accident, maybe, or if they almost cause an accident or some shit. But I watched it. If there was hardly any cars to be seen in that video, and then the cigarette thing, just what the fuck, Don't put out your cigarette. It's like, the fuck is a guy like an anti-smoking national American Cancer Society advocate? He was like all offended or some shit. What the fuck is wrong with the guy? So I think the guy should just be fucking blacklisted from every police department, unless he's like I don't know, maybe a security guard firm can hire him now. It'll be a rent-a-cop, because I don't know. Fucking the guy was, oh, I hated that guy. Such an asshole. And I watched that video, at least once or twice, and it just really irks me. So, and the whole thing is that I think police probably do this type of shit way more often than just, shoot people outright. I mean, obviously there's a lot of those cases too, but that is really what bothers me. And I think there's something just not right with the whole police system in this country. I know people might beg to differ, but there's just something not right. There's just some attitude that they have, that they think they own the fucking world. So the whole Sandra Bland thing it really bothered me way more, because it made me think about all these different factors and stuff more than the other cases. Because honestly, like the other cases, well, they're like, oh, okay, well, of course the guy did this, and then you're thinking, well, it's fucked up, but it's like, well, it's probably partially a racist thought, some of these things, like these racial things in your head that go through your head, and you don't even realize that. So that's why it's kind of like with the Sandra Bland thing, it just made me think a lot about that stuff even more, because she didn't have a criminal record, and it wasn't disputed, it was plain to see what happened. It was not that the other ones weren't disputed, like the one in what I think it was South Carolina. It was pretty fucking stupid. The guy was caught on video planting evidence and shit, with the taser, and Jesus fucking Christ. So I mean, it just really it's getting crazy, and I think hopefully these cases will wake people up to the bullshit that's going on. And I think I don't think it's media hype or anything, a lot of this stuff, because I mean, I've personally experienced it myself with getting pulled over and arrested for basically nothing. I mean, my driving was erratic, and I was about to go to a restaurant or something to get some food because I was so like weak and shit from the show that I went to, and I was just tired. So the cop could have seen that and, you know, whatever. But he, you know, the breathalyzer, I took the breathalyzer and he didn't believe me, you know, and I was cold. I don't know. I don't know if he should have, maybe he should have questioned me. Maybe he could have taken me in. I don't know what their laws are, but, you know, I had to spend the night in jail for basically nothing. And I didn't sue the police department or anything, but it was fucked up. It was scary. And the guy was a complete dipshit, you know, he's whatever. I hope he fucks off and, you know, whatever. But the Sandra Bland thing was actually less significant than what I went through, because as far as what she did, because she didn't even hardly do anything that people don't do every day on the road, and just bothered me so much. And, you know, it made me think about a lot of those things, because I was like immediately like, oh well, she was educated, so it's not like the other cases, and that made me question things like about myself and shit. So it really just got to me, that case. So the truth is that something needs to be, something, federal law, or, you know, federal investigation into how police practices around the country. And that's what all I got to say. I think that there should be, you know, a lot of investigations and just a national reform of how things are done. I mean, if there are quotas, I don't know if that's true or not, then they should just like think about, you know, eliminating those, eliminating this culture in the police society of, you know, this gun ho kind of fucking, you know, you have to respect a police officer all the time. You know, I mean, they need to, and community policing. You know, like having the, you know, community. That's what's happened, is the militarization of police. It's separated police from the community. I mean, let's say, you know, you're in a community and the police know who you know who they are, that you know who they are, and you have a respect for them because they're actually out there and interacting with the community. And that seems to be lost now. You know, I know it sounds like some fucking Andy Griffith show shit or something, but I guess that's the way it goes. But that's all for this video. I hope you subscribe, and hopefully I don't look too shitty in this one, but I haven't taken a shower today, so whatever.